What's up YouTube? As you know, reefing ain't easy. If you appreciate this video or want to know more about reefing, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and please leave comments down in the description if you know of a cleaner, easier way, or if you just want to mention some opportunities that open up if you do this, please let us know. But today I wanted to cover how to connect a Reef Octopus VarioS return pump or skimmer to your Neptune Apex controller. I feel like this is an extremely popular setup. You know, a lot of people want to get the Apex, and these are really popular pumps because other than price, they do everything really well, and especially this added feature where you can control it from your Apex. They're great pumps, I highly recommend them. But let me just show you how to do this. I'm making this video for two reasons. One, when I went to do this, at least in video format, I couldn't find good instructions on how to do this, so I struggled a while. The only video format I could find was outdated and it didn't correlate with the new user interface and how to do it. The other reason is you might be thinking, I don't need this, but I wanted to at least show you a couple reasons why it might be worth it. It's only $11 and you can connect two pumps. It's one of the rare circumstances in this hobby where something inexpensive can have a big impact. Most of the stuff in this hobby is really expensive. So let's just jump right into it. I put a link in the description of where you can buy this cord. It cost me $11 and I bought it off of Amazon. Now it looks like a Y. On one end there's one connection and on the other end there's two connections. So the end that looks like an Ethernet port, that's the part that you plug into your Apex. The other end that looks like headphone jacks is what goes into the controller box of your VarioS pump. Now if you're only connecting one, you can leave the other one unplugged in. It doesn't need to be plugged in. But like I mentioned, you can actually connect two with this one cord. Alright, so now that you have this 0 to 10 volt cord, you're going to take the side that looks like an Ethernet port and plug it into your Apex. There's two spots on the Apex where this will fit. I labeled the two right here. It doesn't matter which one you plug it into, just plug it into one of those. The other end, there's two headphone jacks. If you're only connecting one VarioS pump or device, just go ahead and plug it in right there and you're done. On the VarioS controllers, as you can see here, it's on the left hand side, bottom of it, that's where you plug in the headphone jack port. Alright, now that you have everything connected, make sure your pumps are on and set to whatever setting works for you. So if your skimmer, there's 5 different settings on the VarioS, works best on 3, just leave it on 3, don't change it, and make sure it has power, whether it's through your Apex or just plugged into the wall. You're going to unlock your tiles and you're going to look for VarioS and then there'll be some numbers. That means variable speed. There'll be 4 of them. You can see I've already brought them down, but you just grab them, bring them down to your user interface, and this is what it looks like. This is the variable speed, and then it says 2-I1. That means it's in port 2 and then input 1. So the 2, I believe, is which port you plugged it in. So if you plug it into the same port I did on the right hand side when it's configured this way, you should see a 1, and then the I1 and I2 are the 2 different headphone jacks. So go ahead and bring all 4 down just to be safe. And now you're going to try to figure out which one is which. So if you've only connected one pump, you're trying to figure out of the 4 which one is actually controlling the pump. And the way to figure that out is they should all be on off. If they're not, just put them all on off. And then you're going to toggle it over to on and see if it works. So we'll turn this on, look at your pump. Is it working? No? Okay, turn it off. Go to the next one. Do that. As soon as you figure out, okay, this one is turning it on and making it work, you're going to click this gearbox here and you're going to change the name to something you can remember. So you can see I've connected my skimmer and my return, and I just labeled them skimmer speed, return speed. So change the name and then click this button here, which is going to save it and send it to the Apex. Now that it's labeled, if you want, you can unlock and remove the ones that you're not going to use. We'll use this as an example. There's 2 different ways that you can set it up. One way, which I believe is the best way, is you click here and this will be renamed, and you're going to click on this wizard icon and press OK, and it kind of gives you a preset. Now you can remove these to where the lowest you can have is 2, and you can just put them. So this is saying run the pump all day at 40%. You can click this to go save. Now if you wanted to add some, you just click down here, press add point, and you can add a bunch. I don't know if there's a limit, I'm sure there is, but you can add a ton. And you can play around with things. You can say that you basically want it off for this point of the day for like a feed time or something. So it's going to run, it's going to turn off for that extended amount of time, and then turn back on, and your times are down here and it shows you. You can also do features like ramp it up, ramp it down, that sort of thing, just depending on what you've connected and what your situation is. And then just press save. Another thing that's nice, you can hit this download button, go to discover, and you can see there's a bunch of preloaded things from other people. So you can see you can connect a lot of stuff, but there is stuff that you can look for, maybe VarioS, and see, okay, here's the VarioS pumps that are there. You could look for return, and these are labeled, you know, VarioS return, return with feed, and get an idea of different things other people have done. And then just press the save button. The other way that you can do it is you can come to your tasks, go all the way to the bottom, and go to this variable output, and then just follow these instructions. And then you're going to pick, hopefully you change the name. If you didn't change the name, you can do it here. So you can pick the one that you know is controlling it, change the name now, press next, and then this will show you the presets that you were just seeing that have been saved. So you can look for the first one that is a pump or something, and it'll show you the preview. And really, I think any of these will work. You don't have to pick one that's a pump, but one that's close, press next, and then in send, and it'll send it to the apex. And then when you come into here and you open this up, it should look like this, and you'll have your preset in there, and then you can adjust these and mess with them. Now that's how you set it up. What's really important is on is not going to put it at what this is set to. What on will do is it will set it to the speed that on the white box controller it is set to. So that's really important, and that's where I kept getting mixed up. I'm like, I set it, it's on, it's not working. You have to have it on auto for it to work. Now a couple opportunities why it might be worth spending this $11. Let's say you have a bunch of stuff plugged into your Apex and you got a new device and you really want to plug it into one of the outlets on your box, on your outlet box for your Apex, but you just don't have room. You can free up some room and still have the ability to turn off and on your pump. Even if you don't use the auto, you have off and you have on, just like you would down here on your pump. And now you have another space to plug in an outlet and control that device. Be aware you are giving up some possible features. What's really popular, and I definitely recommend for your return pump, is to set an alarm to where if your return pump isn't drawing its normal wattage or power, it sends you a notification if the pump goes down. It won't be able to do that if you're using the VarioS speed as an on-off switch, but you know, if you're talking about a skimmer, it's not going to be that detrimental if your skimmer goes offline. Everything will be fine, but it will be if the return pump goes, so keep that in mind. Another thing that you might not be thinking about, and you can see for my skimmer, I just run it at the same amount all the time. I don't have an intricate layout, so it's like, why do you even have this? It's not doing anything. Remember, it was only $11 or $5.50 since I connected both, but where it actually has come in a huge handy, especially with my skimmer, since I don't have a fancy needle dial in the air, it's really easy to dial in your skimmer to exact measurements, and it's digital. So you have 100 different settings, 41, 42, 0 to 100, and I can really dial it in, you know, at this amount of air, I can adjust it so that it's perfect. And I can also remember these, so if I need to, say I for whatever reason want to do a really dry skim, I can think about what it was in the past and say, hey, yeah, dry skim is 40. Now, if I need to do a wet skim for some reason, I can set it to 50 or 45 or whatever it may be, and it's a lot easier to make adjustments here than it is trying to mess with my actual skimmer. So it just gives you a lot of control. There's other things that have really come in handy, like if you dose something and it's going to make your skimmer go nuts, you can turn it way down. So like I said, I just wanted to show you how to set it up, as well as give you a couple of reasons. One, it's just so cheap, and then there was a couple ideas of why it would be worth it, and it really gives you a lot of control. What I've used this most for is reasons that I didn't even think about when I originally bought it, and that's where the power comes in. Now you have a lot more control. You might get a great idea. So let me know what you think in the comments. I hope this video was helpful. As you know, reefing ain't easy, but hopefully connecting your VarioS pump to your Apex controller now is. Thanks for watching. See you next time.